Are you also sometimes annoyed by just standing back as a Technomancer and Outrider? You want to melt faces and also be absolutely invincible by doing so? Well, welcome to my Outriders guide. My name is ChaosMole and we have to talk about the most OP leveling build in the game right now for the Technomancer. Let's talk about Tool of Destruction. Tool of Destruction is an ability you are getting at level 9 as a Technomancer, and it gives you a rocket launcher and a minigun. Unfortunately, the rocket gun is not really something you need. It's completely useless, and you want the minigun instead. That's the thing which melts faces and makes it completely invincible by doing so. But to make that happen, you need mods, and of course you need the skills. And the good thing is you can all get that on a very low level, so you don't have to wait till end game. But before we jump into the class skills, let's have a look at the mods you need for this build. You will also find the mods down below in the pinned comment, so definitely make sure to check that out. If you just need the names for the mods and you don't want to watch the whole video, you should, but still, you never know. And let's have a look at the mods. You can of course mod them whenever you like at your crafting station, and it's pretty easy to get them. So the mods you need, and which are basically the must-have, let's start with the very first one, Bang for Your Buck. This is the mod you want. Why? It activates the skill and grants you a 100% base ammo increase for the selected tool. That means you have now 360 bullets in your minigun, and you can melt more faces, but also more importantly, all the passive buffs you are getting from Tool of Destruction are staying longer active. Because interestingly enough, this skill does not have a timer. It runs as long as you have ammunition. So of course, more ammunition means longer runtime. Pretty simple. So this is the one mod you always need. There's no way getting around that. Get that one. The next one you want to get is Tool of Destruction Fortify, which is the mod which gives you the armor bonus whenever you have the minigun out. You want armor, you want to survive, so get that. That's the thing you want as a second one. Now, this one here is something I haven't unlocked yet, but I know exactly what it is because I have it on my headgear right here, and this is Upgraded Gun. The active minigun grants 30% resistant piercing bonus. This is another very important tool to melt the faces of the enemy because, or in this case, shred the faces because, well, you shoot bullets, they do piercing damage, you want to lower the resistance of the enemy, there you go, get that. Now, the next one is Massacre. This one is actually really good for killing enemies. It isn't as great in boss fights where you don't have any ads, because to trigger the 300 and something anomaly power or whatever level you are, and then you get a certain amount of anomaly power, you need to kill an enemy. And well, if there are no ads, then you don't really get that buff. So Massacre is great for just normal fights and boss fights where you know that there are a lot of enemies. But if you fight an enemy where you basically don't have any ads, this is not so great, and you can swap it out for something else. Now let's talk about feedback. Feedback sounds amazing. 3% of the damage dealt using the minigun heals you after the ability ends. It's absolutely useless, because when you end the minigun ability, you are at 100% health. You don't need any healing. Afterwards, well, that's a different topic, but as long as you are running with the minigun, you're basically full health all the time. That's the trick with the minigun. So getting a healing right after you are done does nothing to you. It doesn't help you. It's wasted healing. So don't get feedback. It doesn't help you. Now the next one is Untouchable. So this is a one which gives you 20% more resistance bonus. Sounds nice, but you are already like invulnerable. Like, you are a walking titan. Like, they don't really damage you. If, and I say if, there is a fight where you have the feeling, damn it, I need more defense, I need more ways to survive those big attacks, then yes, you can put in Untouchable, but that is up to you. That's how much damage you get, how you play exactly, and it is an option for you if you have the feeling you still need more defenses. But if you already have the feeling that you don't really need any more of that, get something else for it. I mean it, like, get something else. And we already talked about bang for your buck. Now those two are just for the rocket launcher. We don't really have to talk about that, so it doesn't matter. And those are the mods you really need. So get bang for your buck, upgraded gun, fortify, massacre if you know that they are ads, and of course untouchable if you need more defenses. You can swap both of them out if you so desire. Keep in mind that you can use whatever you like depending on what other abilities to use. I like to use the pain launcher, and I like to use more damage, and also the cooldown is being reduced by 34% or whatever mod you find later on, and then it gets of course higher. But that's what I like to use, and you can do whatever you like. That's completely up to you. And now we have to talk about skills. What do we got here? Well, class skills, or the class talent tree. If you really want to go down the road of using the minigun in nearly every fight, you want to go down Demolisher. Why? Because yes, even though the minigun is a weapon, it doesn't scale with weapon damage. It scales with your anomaly damage. So what you want is anomaly power, and you want to reduce the cooldown, because the cooldown is pretty high. The cooldown of the skill is, at the beginning, 50 seconds. That's a high cooldown. You don't really want that. Or I think even like right at the beginning, it's like a minute you have to wait after you use the ability. So it takes a while. So what you want to do is reduce the cooldown. Cooldown, cooldown, cooldown. That's the thing you want, and that's what you want to look out for. There's again anomaly power, even more resistance. This is why I say like the mod for resistance is not really necessary. Anomaly power again, cooldown reduction, and that's what you want to look out for. Like, find the skills which gives your ordnance power even more power, right? Like, you can see them right here. Like, it's mostly ordnance skills, and that's what you try to grab. Now, you will probably ask, but Mole, what is up with this? Cannonade, activate ordnance skill, increases your weapon damage for you and your others by 30% for 10 seconds. Oh my god, you want that, right? You might think that at the beginning, but that is not the case, because as I said, your minigun does not scales with weapon damage. It does not. All your skills, yes, even the minigun, scales with anomaly power. So when you have the minigun out, you will be in the minigun mode for more than 10 seconds. So for you, this doesn't do anything. Yes, it might be helpful for your friends, and yes, I know you can activate it with the two other skills when your minigun is on cooldown. I get it, like, it can be helpful, but again, it is not a priority. If you have enough skills left after you skilled the Demolisher as much as possible, you can go up here and grab it. It is possible. You can basically get the last point in Demolisher thanks to TechBound, right? You can just go here and grab it, and then you still have enough points to go up here. But it's a luxury, and yeah, if you don't need it, and you don't have that luxury because you want to get more life leech, or you say, nah, but I also want to get the armor, right? You want those 1 extra or 2 extra skill points, you can ignore this. It's a luxury. That's what it is. But that's it. that is a quick guide to one of the most OP skills for the Technomancer. Like as I said, you can tank everything with the Tool of Destruction and the minigun. Boss fights, like attacks which would normally kill you with one shot. And thanks to the healing and the defenses you have, you never fall under 100% HP. There is one last downside. If you were getting in a fight where there is a lot of damage, but you have no enemies to shoot, then you have a problem, because you are slower and you have no way of dodging attacks and regenerate your health. Like, you are too slow with the minigun. You need enemies. So if there is a lot of cover, or let's say you have a boss fight where the boss is disappearing a lot and then there are just effects on the ground, but you don't really have the life leech going, don't use the minigun. Drop the minigun and try to evade. Like, you can only allow yourself to be hit by enemies when you can also shoot with the minigun, because you also need the life leech. So it needs a little bit of learning, and you will sometimes realize, like, whoops, I should have not used the minigun there, and that's fine. But again, make sure that you actually can hit enemies. So positioning is also important. And one last thing, make sure that you hold down the ability and not tap it in a boss fight or normal fight. Happens to me still, very awkward, normally ends up in a death, because as I said, the rocket launcher is not helping us, and when you only tap the ability, you get the rocket launcher, not the minigun. So don't do that. Yeah. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and if you did so, please don't forget to like. You'll find also more infos, as I said, in the pinned comment underneath the video. And if you're new to the channel, you want to see more Outrider guides, videos, and also other games we're doing here on the channel, and also gaming news, I would appreciate if you consider a subscription. That would help me very much. And if you want to see me playing Outriders live, check me out on trovo.live/ChaosMole. You'll find also the link down in the description. And no, it's not Twitch, believe it or not. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and